relationships. I wonder, do you have a favourite sandwich? Bacon, lettuce and tomato on brown. Delicious. Peanut butter and jam? Nah, you can keep it. Poached salmon, slices of cucumber, little bit of salt and pepper, sprinkling of mayonnaise. Wonderful. Steak, seared, onions, mustard in a big ciabatta roll. Delicious. And what goes into making that sandwich are the ingredients. And over time, sandwiches become our favourites and we look out for them. I've got a pile of boxes here, and I want us to imagine this pile of boxes like ingredients that go into a relationship. I wonder if we were to write down some of the things that we think are critical ingredients to go into a relationship. We'd have things like trust, that would be in a relationship. We'd have things like a sense of humour, that would be in a relationship. We would have things like patience, that would be in a relationship. We would have things like we would give that relationship our time, so we'd think about time. We'd give that relationship honesty. You need honesty in your relationship. And slowly but surely, you might need some respect in your relationship. You may need to put in a little bit of effort into your relationship. You may need a little bit of love in your relationship. Whatever it is, you will know some of the ingredients that you need to put into a good relationship. I'm sure you can think of many others. But if you look at that relationship for a moment, what would happen in the relationship if we took one of those ingredients away? Let's imagine for a minute that we took away the trust from the relationship. In no time at all, if we took away the element of trust from our relationship, that relationship comes crashing down. But there may be an opportunity to rebuild the relationship. We could just find all the pieces and rebuild the relationship up once again. And what you discover then, looking at that relationship, all the ingredients are there, but now the relationship may look slightly different. Because in that relationship, perhaps, love has been stretched, or that element of respect has been suddenly, something's happened, or that element of trust has been tested. And I appreciate that in some relationships, they may not be able to be rebuilt. But the thing is, if you try and if you put time and if you put effort, if you put love and forgiveness and whatever other elements to that relationship you have, there is an opportunity for that relationship to be rebuilt. It may not look the same, but it can be rebuilt. There will be circumstances where that may not be possible. The bond may have broken and people have walked away, and I get that. But if there's an opportunity to rebuild that relationship, then in some ways we still should be a people who are prepared to try. Throughout the Bible, if you look at any characters within the Bible, even from the very beginning of the two walking in the garden, God is seeking to build a relationship with the humanity that he has created. And you go through the various stories and the various characters, and time again, you see a breakdown in relationship which needs to be rebuilt. You see Moses and the breakdown of the relationship. and that relationship rebuilt. You see Noah and the breakdown of the relationship which needs to be rebuilt. You see David and a similar things happens. And all the way along, the journey of God with his people is about building a relationship. And even when those people walk away, God still holds out his hand and tries to draw those people back. God is always taking the initiative to rebuild that relationship. And some people walk away and never come back. Some of them come back to God and ask for God's forgiveness, and that relationship establishes itself again. Think for a moment about the number of different relationships that you have. Think about the ingredients or the elements that go in to making that relationship special. You're talking about trust. You're talking about respect. You're talking about love. On occasions, you're talking about a sense of humour. And all of those things build that relationship. There is an element of give and take in every relationship. And it's no different for God and his people. God says to the people, this is the way I want you to walk in, and the people walk in that way. Then they let him down, then they ask forgiveness, then he invites them back. And a relationship with God is a bit like a journey or our everyday relationships. There are ups and downs and twists and turns, but these elements go into making that relationship special. Have a think for a moment of the people who share your lives. Have a think for a moment of the relationships you have. Make a list. If you can get up to 10, that's fantastic, of elements that go in to making your relationship, or ingredients that go into your favourite sandwich. God forever takes the initiative in reaching out to his people. He wants to build a relationship with them. In fact, the Bible says, I will be your God and you will be my people. It's a relationship that we have with God and that God has with us. Relationships.